Hi all and welcome to this short review of the Nacon Daija arcade stick. Here is the box. Really cool, very detailed, very fancy, blah blah blah. Again, that's the box. Here is the stick itself. Absolutely, if you want a short précis of the review, excellent value for money. Currently this stick can be had for about £130 from Amazon, and that is in January 2021. It's built very well. It's built out of nice material. The plastics are excellent quality. They're actually not very dissimilar to what you'd find on a games console. Very strong plastics. The buttons and the lever are all Sanwa, so very responsive as you'd expect. It's got the Vuelix layout, which again, if you've been playing on arcades, if you've played in arcades in the past, you'll be familiar with that. It's got easy access to the insides via these two red buttons. You simply press these in and it pops open, and you can then have access to the lever and buttons, change them out, etc. You also got a very simple setup in terms of replacing the artwork, because all you've got to worry about are the buttons and the stick. The template is very easy. You can download the template, edit it to your heart's content online, get it printed out, and just replace the graphics by just removing these hex screws. There's a little perspex panel, and then replace the artwork that way. Very simple, and you can customize it in a really easy way. All your PlayStation sensitive controllers are here. PS3, PS4, you've got the share button, you've got the touchpad there. You've got a little switch to choose the platform on which you want the stick to work. It works on PS3, PS4 and PC. For the purposes of this video, I'll let you know I've been using this exclusively on PC, so I can't tell you how it performs on console. There was a bit of worry about this when this first came out in terms of its latency, button latency. People were saying it wasn't as responsive as some other sticks. However, there was a firmware update released, and that has fixed a lot of those problems, so there's nothing to worry about there. And like I said, it's all Sanwa hardware, so really fantastic. Now, there's a few issues with this stick. It will function perfectly for you, you'll be happy with it, etc. It's sturdy, it's weighty, all those things are positive. So when this is sat on your table or on your lap, you're not going to have any concerns about it moving around or anything like that. However, there's a couple of things about it which are not great, and I think that it comes more down to the just the design choices Nacon have taken, and they may have taken them because they're trying to create like a premium product, but I see these, and I've seen these choices made in other products, and in the long run they don't work out so well. The first thing is this texture here on the wrist rest. The wrist rest is amazing. It's a good size, very comfortable. It's got this like dimpled kind of texture. It's not a rubber, it's just plastic, but it's got this dimpled texture. Now the issue I see with that straight away is over time, unless you're very meticulous, these little dimples are going to get filled with dead skin or just crust, and you're going to be constantly wiping this down, cleaning it, trying to keep it in a good condition. Now I've only had this stick for a day, and already it's picking up bits of muck. Even worse than this is, for whatever reason, they thought it would be a really good idea, rather than just having a couple of rubber feet or something, they thought it would be really smart to put a massive rubberized texture pad on the bottom of this stick. Now this kind of material is often used in PC land, on gaming mice. Here's the Razer. This has the Razer Death Adder. This has this textured rubber as well. However, this textured rubber is something that Razer have changed in this version of the Razer Death Adder, and it's a lot better than previous versions. This textured rubber seems to be like what they used to use in previous versions, where the texture, the size of the mesh on the texture is quite big, and it's gonna wear, obviously, because it's just rubber. It will wear in use. But more than that, you can see that within a day I've already managed to make a bit of a mess of it. I must not have realised I eat at the table. Well, I've got a chicken burger here right now. I eat at the table at where I game, etc. You know, I drink and eat. It's my computer table. I'm here a lot playing games, etc. I want to eat and snack while I'm doing it. Who doesn't? And I must not have realised a crumb of chocolate or something was on my lap, and I put the arcade stick on my lap. That's how I play it, and the chocolate has now gone, and it's just all in there. It's all nasty, and I'm going to have to get some soapy water and see if I can wipe that clean. But it's going to be a bit of a pain in the backside to be worrying about that. It's a little thing. They probably thought, oh, it's a nice premium feature. Look, we're putting a nice big giant rubber mat on the bottom. When you place this down, this isn't going to move anywhere, and it won't. But it's going to very quickly just become messy to maintain. One final gripe I've got with this is the cable, the USB cable. It is hardwired into the arcade stick. It's not a removable USB cable like we saw on the original like Razer Atrox, I believe it was, which is a bit of a shame because this is exactly the same type of setup my old Mad Catz Tournament Edition arcade stick had, and after years and years of use, that ended up getting frayed at the point it went inside the case because of just wear and tear, just use. I'm not careless with my tech, believe it or not. I do look after it, but in a normal way. I don't treat it with kid gloves. I'm not like anally retentive about it. I'm not like, you know, meticulously crazy. However, I do look after it. I don't throw things around, etc. I'm a normal user, and I just feel that is something that on an arcade stick at this price, it wouldn't have been that much of an ask to have a detachable USB cable, because this, I mean, this is just going to, you know, that's going to get damaged at some point, right, you know, where it goes inside the case. And also, the more these types of flaps and hinges you've got, over time, they do just wear down. So those are my flaws, I think, or my issues with the design of this stick, based upon previous products I've owned which have had the same or similar materials used in them. Functionality wise, I've not had any issues. I've been playing, like, since I've had this stick, I've actually used it a lot already, and I want to continue using it a lot for all kinds of games, mainly fighting games, but I will also be playing shooters. But the fighting games I've played, both like native plus using like emulators on PC, etc. I've not had any issues. It's been responsive every time. The buttons have done what I've asked of them every time. The movement has been exactly how I've input it every time, which isn't to my benefit because my execution is rubbish, but it's worked flawlessly, and I'm very confident to say if you buy this, you won't be disappointed with its performance function wise. However, don't expect it to look as good as it does when you first unbox it very soon after, because it's just some poor choices of aesthetic, I think. But other than that, I can heartily say yes, it's a good stick. One other thing you should probably be aware of is it doesn't have any kind of lock feature to lock these buttons. So if you were to inadvertently touch some of these side buttons during, say, like an offline tournament, or an online tournament actually, you are prone to maybe mess up your game that way. You could get disqualified or whatever because there's no lock buttons on here. However, if you're playing, there's no other buttons on the top, and you would really have to be quite unlucky to somehow press the buttons on the side, unless you just in some stress moment just tapped something or whatever. But that's not likely to happen. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.